Games in 2025 are the worst they have ever been, which is why I feel like we need to take this time to go and look back at games that still hold up to today's standards, the older games when they were so perfect, the games that surpass today's standards. Right, now at number 10 of this list, it is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 I feel like still holds up as a pretty good shooter game for as a standard format of attacking and defending certain checkpoints, and when you get a checkpoint then you move forward into the battle further and further until eventually you have all of them or you've lost all of them. But it also comes with being able to use heroes and villains from Star Wars, which if you like Star Wars, this is the biggest bonus that you could get. But I mean, even if you don't like Star Wars, I would still recommend this game to play because honestly it is still a very good game. I would still recommend to play it because the lightsaber battles that you can have, you just imagine it's swords. Just ignore the fact that it's lightsabers at the Star Wars. Just it's generally good battles, and the graphics. It being I think 2017 it came out. It holds up perfectly since then. Not as much as some other games around, but like if it came out today, I feel like people would still praise the graphics, and it looks like it could have been made on Unreal Engine 5 very very easily. Now the ninth game on this list is Age of Empires 2. Now you may ask, why not Age of Empires 3 or Age of Empires 4, and the newer games with more features? See, I feel like those new features overcomplicate it, and I feel like Age of Empires 2 is the perfect mix in between. It's the perfect mix in between complexity and simplicity. So this strategy based war game, real time war game, really gets your mind going whilst you can also think about what's going on, and it comes with multiple different options on gameplay. You can pick many maps. I personally like the world map. You can go to individual countries, or you can even just fight in completely like non real life areas. You can just fight in a big open field or something like that. But there's many also actual gameplay aspects. You can each tribe has its own different attributes, so you can really diversify your play style to your competitors and friends. Age of Empires 2 also comes with the good options of being able to build up your base and be highly defensible from all the different angles, or you can off the bat take a small foot military and you can just charge at people, take them out, wipe them off the map, and you can own that land quick, or you can play the long game, drawing it out, really being like a lot of strategy involved. But it's just down to everyone's different play styles, honestly. But it's definitely not as good as some of the other games on this list, so that's why it's been left at 9. Now, at number 8 is Kart Racing Pro. I honestly feel like this is actually better than some other big racing games like F124, because F124 has so many issues with the online mode, and honestly, with just so many issues in general. Kart Racer Pro is actually more realistic when it comes to the handling and the way that the track feels as you move around it lap after lap after lap. And also, it just the fact that it's not a big AAA game that has massive budgets and corporations behind it, and still, in my opinion, is better. I understand there's other racing sim games like iRacing, but again, I've not played that, and I've seen a lot to it, and I understand that that's more actual cars. This is more karts, which I personally prefer because like I enjoy karting in real life, and take it from me, this is unbelievably accurate handling, and the way that the kart feels when you accelerate out the corner, and the ways that you accelerate, and the way that you brake feels so it's actually perfectly down to the last detail.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Apart from obviously G forces, because like if you turn too quickly, your body turns because you can't replicate that in a game. It's just not possible. Also, I'm pretty sure it's only like £30 base price. I got it on discount, so I got it a lot cheaper. But normally it's not even that expensive, so definitely worth picking up if you get the chance. Now going into number 7, this is 7 Days to Die. I recently made an entire video about this. I'm going to show it on screen now. It'll be in the top right hand corner now to that video, so you can make sure that you go check that out and give me your opinions on that game specifically, if you feel like that is something you would enjoy. 7 Days to Die is a mixed element. It is the survival, and it perfects it. Well, nearly perfects it. Not quite there. There are some better games in survival based, but it's nearly there. And it's also mixed with other like styles such as zombies and horror. It has a real horror aspect. The eeriness of walking around, there's always zombies somewhere, and it's always the countdown to the blood moon. Every single 7 days in the game, the sky turns red, and all the zombies know where you are. You can run, but you can't hide. They will come for you, and you have to fight. And I just think that sort of element is literally exactly what a survival game needs. Is not just base survival where you need to figure out what you're doing. 7 Days to Die, you need to learn what you're doing. It's kind of it's sort of like open. You can do what you want, but at the end of the day, there is still that task of surviving and preparing for the blood moon, which is why I feel like it deserves number 7. Now going into number 6, it is Phasmophobia. 7 Days to Die mixes horror and survival together, but Phasmophobia focuses all on the horror and it absolutely nails it. The eeriness and the silence, you won't hear nothing, and then all of a sudden in the other room you just hear a cup get thrown and you know it's the ghost. This game captures the common fear of ghosts and exploits it and makes you feel like you are never alone because you can't actually see the ghost until it's trying to kill you. Now at the end of the day, Phasmophobia is a pretty simple game. You literally just go in the house and you work to identify the ghost and then you leave whilst fulfilling some basic objectives and taking pictures for evidence. But it's so simply good. It just is perfect. I honestly think it is one of the best horror games ever. I mean, obviously, there might be one out there that I've not heard of or I've not played, but out of the ones I have heard of and played and seen other people play, I personally feel like this is the best, and it captures the horror element perfectly. Now, before we go on to number 5, make sure if you like the video so far, then you like and subscribe and comment your current thinkings of the list. Now let's get into the next bit. So at number 5, I've put Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is basically Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, but manages to be completely different at every last corner. It takes a standard open world idea of running around the forest or a city and moves it onto the open seas, where you work as a pirate to just get as much plunder and gold as possible, whilst taking on other players that could be lurking around in the seas as well. In each lobby there is 6 ships. They could either be little sloops or they could go as big as the massive galleons. You never actually know, and the world is so interactive with so many beings that could always come for you, such as megalodons and skeleton galleons that just make it absolutely horrifying and adventurous. You can choose to be more simple when you play Sea of Thieves by picking up a treasure map and just going and following it and digging up some basic treasure. Or you can really explore deeply into these voyages and you can go and hunt for a vault or hunt down an Ashen Lord. But with being an open world, obviously there's many different options, so you can really make up your own game, whilst there still being lots of different options on what to do, and you won't really get bored because there are so many structured things in place, such as the voyages. It's not just simply go dig up treasure, it might be steps to go do it, which will keep you entertained, and after you do it, the dopamine rush will just make you do another and another and another. And also, before we move on, I just want to mention, the graphics of this game are absolutely gorgeous. Still, they're simple, like the character designs, it's not like you're seeing the last wrinkles in everyone's faces, but like the sea's physics, as well as just the general sky, and then the game is just generally quite beautiful. And number 4, I want to be able to put GTA 6, but we know that that game probably ain't going to come out until my grandkids are born, and I'm only young, so that's a long time away. But because we can't put GTA 6 here, we're putting GTA 5. This game still holds up since it came out in like 2013 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, but I think it came out that long ago. So the fact that it still holds up as good as it does is absolutely amazing. The story is still intriguing for a first-time player. Honestly, it has good replayability. With the 3 options at the end, I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, I assume everyone has played this game, but just in case you haven't, I'm not going to spoil the ending. But there's multiple options of how to end the game, which allows you to replay it and revisit it and see different ways of playing. But mainly, it's the online mode. It captures players for a long period of time. It's the because basically it's an open world. You can do what you want. You can simply just aggravate the police and just go on a long police chase, or you can become a massive drug lord and own a big like meth empire, or you can choose to go and or you can choose to rob the drug lords and rob the big casinos for their vaults and get absolutely stacked. And with the recent addition of private sessions, so you can do your businesses without being griefed all the time, it has definitely made a lot more people quite happily build up in the future. Now, the next game that's on this list at number 3, you probably knew was coming at some point. It's Minecraft. When this game came out, you probably couldn't have predicted that it would have gotten so big and lasted so long, but it has. And it's only growing from now with all of its new updates in the recent years, such as Cave and Cliffs and the Oceans, and some poorer ones since then, but we don't talk about them. It is still growing in player base, and it is still very, very good. And I think you should definitely go check it out. And I'm pretty sure they're moving to a more regular update basis with smaller, like, drip feeding us content, which is a lot better in my opinion. I prefer that over one big update per year. And we just know no matter what, everyone is always going to fall for the 2 week Minecraft phase. When I'm 45 and I'm laying my kids into bed, I'm still going to be playing Minecraft, and I feel like everyone is. It's just one of those complex but simple games that will simply last forever. But there are two more games that I think are slightly better, barely better, but slightly better, so they deserve to be a little higher. Now, at number two, it is Skyrim. I'm only new to Skyrim actually, but I can already see it is going to be. I think once I play out the whole game, it could honestly be in the number one spot. But for now, just because I've only done 2 episodes on it, make sure you go check them out on my channel. And episode 3 will be recorded later for me for whenever this video comes out. I so far, I honestly think it's one of the greatest games I've ever played. The combat system is so simple. Again, in most of these games, it's when the games are simple, but they still work. And the combat system in Skyrim is quite simple, but it works. It works perfectly fine. And the story so far, from what I've gotten, it is going to really unravel. And people have told me that I've only dipped my toes in the water. There is so much more to see, so many more things. All I know is I killed a chicken and I started a war. So personally, that makes the game pretty much perfect for me. And also, the Sea of Thieves map is absolutely huge, and there's so much interaction. You can talk to people all the time. You can get different missions. I've heard that you can even just make a house, get a wife, and just settle down if you really want. If that's your cup of tea, then that's just what you can do. But I still think there is one more game that deserves to be above it. Now, in the number one spot, I've put a way out. This game is perfect down to every minute detail. I don't know where to honestly start with this game. It's just perfect. The actual gameplay is nice. The aspect of you and your friend or a parent or whoever you play with, it can connect you to, and you can work together to escape the prison. I'm not going to go too much deep into the story of this, just in case you haven't played it. But the basic story is you're trying to escape the prison. That is established in the first 2 minutes of the game, and then it goes further than that. So I feel like just that basic aspect of having to work together. It's split screen even when you're online, and there's okay, there is a hospital scene, and the transitions are the greatest thing ever seen to man. I honestly, I go to bed thinking about those, and I just go right to sleep. That those are my dreams. Will go tonight. Is those transitions, and there's Connect Four in the game. So honestly, it just makes it a little bit better. But the main thing is the story, the love and betrayal that I felt playing this. It is perfect. Just I know I've already said that, but just honestly, the things I would do to be able to play this game for the first time again is unheard of. And I would honestly still play it again because there's multiple outcomes. So I would still go back and play this game one more time, just out of curiosity and just to relive some of that magic. But anyway, that is all 10. The list will be on screen now. And just make sure if you like this video, then you like and subscribe. I recently hit 200 subs, and my next big goal is 300. But let's see if I can reach that anytime soon. Probably not, but I'm going to go for it. So if you liked it, like and subscribe. All of my other socials are on screen. Make sure you go follow them. Make sure you check out any other series that interest you. Most of these games that I've just spoken about, I've probably done a series on, and that's why I love them so much. So, peace.